Hello, everyone. My name is Jirian, and welcome to the first episode of what is to be my sort of Path of Exile acts playthrough thing, 0 to hero sort of number. Basically, I've been sort of consuming a lot of PoE content, and decided that I sort of wanted to take the plunge and sort of give my perspective as a new player on the sort of ARPG genre and where it's at and where Path of Exile is at the minute and all that good stuff. So this is basically just an introductory episode, just to sort of introduce myself, introduce the series, sort of get some feedback maybe, and yeah, go from there. So basically, I've played ARPGs for a pretty long time, off and on, not that they've been my main game by any stretch, because I've sort of been sucked into the world of like first person shooters when it came to PC gaming, but recently I picked up PoE and it sort of rekindled my sort of love for the genre. So like I've played things like Diablo. I played Diablo 2 when it was first released. That's showing my age a little bit, but I played Diablo when I was younger. I've played games like Last Epoch and Grim Dawn and things like that, and Path of Exile just sort of caught my attention. And one of those reasons that it did is sort of, I like the mapping system, and I kind of like the way they've done that, the fact that you can sort of go into maps and progress your character even further to fight uber bosses, then, for lack of a better term, like your uber elder and your uber maven and things. Not that I've got that far, just a sort of side note, I have played through the campaign before now. I do have another character which I believe is a tornado shot Deadeye person character toon thing that does stuff. But yeah, I've got to the point on that character where I've sort of got the first two Void Stones, so I've beaten Eater of Worlds and the other guy, Exarch, I believe. So I've beaten those two and got the first two Void Stones. I've yet to fight Maven for, I think, the third time? Don't quote me. You've got to fight them so many times, it's kind of like, okay, I can't remember. But yeah, so I've done a little bit of the endgame. As far as endgame goes, I suppose that's sort of like the beginning of endgame, mid to late game maybe. So I am still pretty new to the whole endgame process and the things that go on Path of Exile. But I kind of wanted to sort of start a series where I could sort of hold myself accountable and hopefully get some feedback from people and understand like where I'm going wrong and why certain things are happening, because like there is so much to this game, like depth-wise. When you factor in like the mechanics and all the defensive mechanics, like your resistance, I know resistances are a normal sort of ARPG thing, but then you've got like evasions and physicals, and it's a lot. Like you go into your character menu, like the C menu, and you just start reading through the sort of the trove that is your character, and the depth is just kind of overwhelming, I suppose. But just to touch base on the other character I have, the tornado shot Deadeye, I found myself being really, really squishy, and I kind of got to a point where I didn't understand how to fix the sort of holes in my character. And then I saw a post on, I believe it was Maxroll, where they have like their league starter guides and things like that, and I found their site to be really intuitive. So I went with one of their builds, which is going to be a Corrupting Cry Raider, I believe. I could be wrong, but I'm sure it was Corrupting Cry, because I've always been like a melee enjoyer. Rangers, I mean, you've got your World of Warcraft and things where I used to enjoy playing Rangers and mages and things like that on there. Diablo 2 especially. I used to really enjoy the mage class, the sorcerer. But after playing, like I said, the ranger, I kind of wanted to try a sort of melee class. I think Corrupting Cry would be classed as a melee class, right? I don't think it's got that much of a range to it. But I've died quite a few times. I believe I'm into Act 3 by the time you're probably seeing this. And obviously because I work full time as well, I kind of got to juggle things around. So it's probably going to be a longer type of series because I don't have as much time as I would like to sort of sink into it and just enjoy it. But yeah, I have died. You'll probably see a few in this video itself quite a few times. Between like the, whatever these are called, moas. They're horrible. The stun is absolutely terrifying. And then obviously you go from this sort of place into the submerged passage type of deal where they just freeze you, and I had like no ice resistance at this point, so I was just getting frozen and murked and frozen and murked. So I think I've probably racked up, I'm probably into double digits already into this series, which is kind of crazy, but I enjoy it. I'm not someone who's you know, slash deaths or whatever the command is and you know, keeping score, as it were. I understand that I'm a new player and it's going to take some time to actually get used to the mechanics and things, so I'm totally fine with that. But as far as gameplay goes, I like the acts. I do. I think they're cool. I think they probably could have just stopped at 5, because it seems from like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is just flipped. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type of thing, but flipped. So I think they're a bit long in order to get to the actual game. It's like a 7-hour tutorial before you can actually get to the actual meat and grit of the actual game. As far as gripes go, though, that's pretty much my only sort of nitpick with the game. Obviously, you've got to have some sort of story and things, and I'm sure the lore in this game is pretty cool. I've obviously seen some of the trailers and other media involved with the Path of Exile 2 sort of pre-launch thing, you know, that type of thing. And the second one, I'll be honest, looks absolutely amazing. From what I've seen in comparison to like your newer Diablo, it's pretty insane how GGG have actually managed to do it. And I'm super excited in order to play the second iteration of the game, as it were. But yeah, as far as the game goes, it's super enjoyable. Like I said, I found my ranger quite squishy, so that got a little bit frustrating in maps, and you see like a lot of media online when people do like league starts and things, and they just sort of blitz through the game in 2 hours, and then they're in maps, and then they're killing like Eater of Worlds and things at like 4 hours, and I'm just literally blown away. I do enjoy watching some of the playthroughs, like Crouching Tuna, I believe, is one of the speedrunners, and he's kind of fun to watch. I picked his videos up because he was running, I believe it was a Toxic Rain, or I could be wrong, but that was a ranger class, and I found that to be quite enjoyable, and just the fact that he took you on like an over-the-shoulder sort of experience of getting into the Atlas and how you would progress your Atlas as quick as you could, which obviously then enables you to sort of change the Atlas and start farming currency. As far as currency goes, I find myself extremely poor. I think I've probably managed to find like 5 divines in total on my Tornado Shot character, and it would be nice to be able to sort of farm up quite a lot of currency and see the sort of progress I could make on that character with a silly, 50 divines, 100 divines, mirror, that type of thing. So I'm kind of hoping that this series will give me the option to sort of hold myself accountable and view my progress in a sort of linear fashion. So, I started at Act 1 being really sort of fresh and green around the gills, and, I can kind of progress and hopefully farm the currency needed to make a super awesome build before the next league start, and then I can obviously do it all over again. Hopefully with, some feedback from yourselves. I'm hoping that I can maybe stream a couple of sessions. Like I said, I work full time, so sort of trying to juggle the timetable sometimes can get a bit hectic, but I will do my best to at least try and stream my progress once a month. So if you wanted to see like an unedited version of what's going on, you could feel free to sort of stop by that channel, whether that be a Twitch channel or just a YouTube live. It'll probably be a YouTube live, because obviously then everything is all in sort of one place and it's his own entity, I suppose. So yeah, that's kind of my sort of introduction. As you can see me die in several times in the video. So a question I did want to ask before the video ends is whether you would want to see these sort of edited, this type of style where I sort of record the gameplay and then find time to sort of post-record commentary and sort of have a chat and things, or whether you'd want to see more of a live type of maybe a real-time sort of run, I suppose. Like I said, I will try and stream parts of it, but it's sort of the preference on, I'm kind of new to the whole YouTube video editing space as well, and I'm kind of trying to learn that as I go. So whether you'd want to see like a heavily edited sort of version condensed into this sort of what I've done here, or whether you would like I said, a more real-time sort of I'll speak as I play type of thing. That would be cool to get some feedback on that, just to see the sort of where the land lies with that. But other than that, I don't think there is really much more to say. Other than the fact that I'm just really enjoying it, and the sort of learning the video editing has been kind of cool. I got a couple of tutorials I've been watching and trying to sort of cut footage and why you cut footage and how and all that stuff. So I'm sort of trying to consume a lot of media on media, if that makes sense. But yeah, as I sort of finish off the boss in these next few minutes, I don't think there's much all else to say. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I apologize for any sort of stuttering and stammering that may be present in the final edit. But yeah, thank you for sticking around. I hope to see you all in the next couple of videos, and yeah, thanks, and I will see you next time.